equally zero delay.
Yeah, I don't know. I've not used the spacebar thing. I think I have accidentally, from Dunlap disease, but
Hey, welcome to the stream. ESSB Audio Outlaws on Monday evening here in Southern California. Got a couple guys out here talking on ESSB already. So here we go. Have a good evening, guys. Thanks for all your participation. And remember, n6mud.com for chat. Thanks a lot.
Oh boy. It's kind of hammered crap. You got some bubbles in there too. You're on the flex?
No, I'm trying this Zeus software, and I don't like the look of it, and if it doesn't sound decent, I'll be back in a minute, back on Thetis. Amen, brother.
Okay, yeah, that's a lot of overdriving going on there, and that may be what's causing the gurgles. But yeah, there's a huge learning curve. It's truly like starting over with Thetis again. If you go to Zeus, there's just a big difference there. Even though it kind of does the same thing, it's just in a completely different place, and you got to go digging for it.
Oh yeah, a lot of hunting involved, that's for sure. Okay, I'll be back in a minute. E6JR. Somebody needs to write a treatise for that Zeus. I don't think there's any type of manual out for it.
Yeah, I think it's still morphing. I don't know that if anybody would put the effort into it, that it would stay the same long enough for it to be applicable. It'd end up being like any versions of the whatever the hell it is, All-Star imaging. You go out there and look up stuff for All-Star, how to start an All-Star node, and you get 50 bazillion things that don't apply anymore that are still active on the web.
Yeah, I don't doubt that. You have to filter on YouTube by date, I guess. I'm going to go see what Scott's doing. I'll be back in a bit. WS7K. I'll get him on here as a guest operator.
Awesome. And we're live streaming, guys. ESSB Audio Outlaws on YouTube. And Jeff, that software needs to be kind of like an iPhone or an Android phone. It needs to be good enough to the point where it's you can use it without using a manual. It needs to be intuitive enough. So, and then maybe there's different ways you can do it. You can make inline help and do all types of interactive help in that. But there's the day and age where you have a manual, like a 500-page manual to read stuff. Those days are over. You shouldn't need that. There's way better ways to write software.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, even with Thetis, we all had a very large learning curve with, getting started with this. And, thankfully we had a lot of good help from John. But we finally got it to the point where it was stabilized for each of our setups. And then we started to go play with all the little intricacies and features. And hell, I haven't tapped into nearly as much stuff as even you have. You've got a lot of things going on there with the integration of the LP100 and the amp and stuff like that into your dashboard. I haven't put that much effort into it. I've only been concerned with audio.
Yeah, copy that. Yeah, I get it. Definitely for audio, that's different. Audio, audio is a whole different ball game. For that, you can read many books on, not even applicable to Thetis, just how to make someone sound good, right? Just with EQing and that. That's not really a Thetis thing, but it kind of could be if you had CFC. But all right. But anyway, we took Monday off the streaming. Sunday off streaming. We didn't do any stream on Sunday. Took a break. But anyway, good to have the gang back here, and hopefully we can get Scott in 6RRV, who's out visiting Idaho. Maybe he'll make an appearance there in 6MUD San Diego.
I was waiting for the thunderous roar to jump in, but yeah, it took several days off. I just needed kind of time away to get out of my head from everything that happened last week, and just going in too many different directions at the same time, and just kind of decompress. So feeling a lot better today.
Yeah, good deal. Yeah, I know you had a stressful week last week, Jeff, and you've got a short week here. Hopefully, it'll go by quick, and then you're blasting off to Alaska cruise. So, yeah, man, I bet you're excited about that because I know I was really excited when I first went on my first Alaskan cruise. Good time when you had to do it, right towards the tail end of summer. So hopefully, you'll see a lot of wildlife and all types of fun stuff.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see some salmon trying to run upstream and do their spawn thing, and see lots of bald eagles, I'm hoping. The weather looks like it may hold out for us too. It's still kind of up in the air though. This week, all week in Juneau, it's supposed to be overcast and rainy, but towards the end of the week, it looks like it may be clearing up. My neighbors, they got a free pass the whole way through their trip, and they took the same journey just on a different cruise line week before last, and they had perfect days every day. It was partly cloudy or sunny and mid-70s the whole time they were up there.
WS7K, guest speaking, N6RRV.
Wow. Hey, Scott. Good evening. You sound different.
From Idaho, Meridian, Idaho, this is N6RRV using the WS7K station as a guest speaker here tonight. Guest operator, I guess, is the appropriate terminology. Anyway, I'm on James's radio, WS7K. How do I sound? I'm probably a little different. Go ahead, Greg, and hi, Jeff.
Yeah, actually, I mean, you sound like James, but just with your voice. So obviously, you just grabbed his microphone instead of talking. So definitely sounds different than your station, but it doesn't sound bad. It's just a different sound to it. And I'm used to hearing you at 20 over. You're about at 5 over, S9 5 over. But welcome to Idaho, there, Scott. Yeah, hopefully you had a safe, good flight there, and you're settling in and gonna settle down here and relax and enjoy some ESSB rag chewing. And yeah, it sounds pretty good there, Scott. Anyway, I'll pass it over to Jeff. Go ahead, K5 BLS N6MUD.
Okay, and somebody with a carrier tuning up in the bandpass. And yep, hello, Scott, and welcome to the great, I would say white north, but it's not white yet. Wait a couple months, we'll be there. Honestly, I like this setup better than your regular setup. It sounds more natural. It's not nearly as compressed and thick, I guess. It's more natural. It's breathing a little bit, so I kind of like it.
Good. Well, then maybe I ought to just take James and Clifton home with me, and we'll just do it in my house. No, I'm liking it up here. Good flight. It was only an hour and a half from Orange County up here to Boise. Got in. James picked me up, took me to see my house that I bought, sight unseen, but I went over there and visited it. It was very nice. Everything looks good. So it just needs some furniture and some little TLC, and it'll be good to go as my quarterly vacation spot.
Get some AGC in here.
I already figured out where I could put a vertical post and then extend some wires to make a nice inverted V. Or maybe not an inverted, but some type of maybe antenna configuration, make it look really nice. And overall, everything's good here. Weather's nice, and wow, it's looking here, putting out about 400, between 400 and 450 watts on James's rig there. So you like what you hear, huh, Dennis? Sounds good.
Yeah, that was Jeff, and yeah, the more I listen to it, Scott, it definitely does sound natural for sure. Kind of curious, how's the smoke? Is the smoke a problem, or do you smell any smoke? By the way, we smelled smoke yesterday for most of the day. We had a fire about 10 miles from us, blanketed all of Southern California. Well, San Diego was with smoke for about 8 hours. So I know how that smoke is, man. It's horrible. Anyway, Scott, how's the smoke out there?
Non-existent right now. It's been 2 days of really nice, clean weather. I'd say visibility is probably 50 miles. You can see the hills out the distance there. It looks really nice. Blue sky, clouds, And my wife Wendy couldn't come because of fear that the smoke would interfere with her pulmonary issues. So she's kicking herself. But then again, she wouldn't have known that, a week ago when she canceled her flight. So she's coming out again in
Diversity on.
in a couple weeks to do some final
Diversity
touches on
off.
the house.
Check out that
But
area
probably
right
won't
over
be
here
able
to
get
the
out
right.
again until around Christmas time. Taking a couple weeks off, I'll be able to come up here and take care of a lot of business. But yeah, man, it's all good. Liking this place. It's a little slower, a lot less stress, and people are pretty friendly. So, good place to hang out throughout the year.
Yeah,
And right at
I'm
169.
JR and hello up there in Idaho.
Sounding good. Good sounding signal. It's funny. I hear guys on my station down in Idaho, and you all sound, really good and strong up here too. So James' antenna is not that high. The apex, I don't know, maybe 15 feet at best. And then of course it extends out to make the dipole. But for what he has here, it's a really good signal reception from you guys.
Yeah, you're 5/9 here, sounding marvelous.
And JR, welcome back to the JR we know and love, the sound that we used to hearing you at.
Yeah, I just didn't have anything to do this afternoon, so I downloaded it. And like Jeff was saying, you got to go all over the place to figure out where controls are. And, there's not even a volume control on the front screen. So I don't particularly care for the looks of it either. So just was playing around, and now I'm done.
I hooked up my Hermes today.
Elaborate setups on there, and I just wonder how much time they had to spend to customize all that stuff, because it looks really pretty on their screen, but when you download the base version of it, it is really generic and uninteresting.
Yeah, it takes time, and those damn docking containers are crazy. But guys, I hooked up my Hermes light today, and I downloaded Ether, and I was playing around with it, and the part I'm having trouble with, maybe there's some Ether guys on here, but I need to run TCI to control my amplifier frequency with my Hermes light. My Hermes light does not put out enough power for my amplifier to get a good tune signal. So I have trouble with it. So if anyone out there can explain to me how I went into TCI, it didn't actually, how do I set up my TCI server within Ether so then I can point my amplifier to the TCI server, and it can get all of the frequency information. Maybe someone can help me there. But other than that, I was receiving fine. I was playing around with the Kiwi SDR integration. It's pretty cool. So yeah, definitely a lot of potential there for Ether. So good job, guys, on getting that working, and hopefully sooner than later we can get that for the Anon. Yeah, N6MUD streaming on YouTube.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to go listen to my audio on that, and I have some tape recordings of my audio radio station. I'm going to go listen to the difference between the two. Should be interesting. I'll be back in a little bit. N6RB, guest operator on WS7K near Boise, Idaho. I'll be back in a little bit.
We got room for one more out here by chance?
Oh, slip it in.
Oh, Mr. Big.
She said WB1G.
Yeah, belly up to the bar.
And good evening, Smitty.
All week.
How's things over the hill?
I was over on your side of the hill a couple hours ago, in fact. Moved the daughter into her new apartment this weekend, and it was fun. Definitely not as bad as moving her out of the house for the first time and moving her into the dorm. Much better than that. Still a little sad, not gonna lie, but we got her set up in her new apartment. Real nice. It's a 4-banger, and she's got 3 other roommates, and she's doing great.
Well, that's a good dad.
Don't let him fool you. He's still over the hill.
Well, I am over the hill at this point, yes. But as far as being over the jagged hill, the mountain range, no. I'm back in the home QTH, rockin' and rocklin', Sacker tomatoes, whatever I call it tonight.
And good evening, Smitty. Good to hear you made it back safely across that mountain there, and sounding good out there, my friend. You're 20 over.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I will take it. Hey, I know there was some questions from folks wanting to know how the ESSB presentation went on Friday night. I find I do a better job presenting when I do not necessarily stick to what's written on the slides. Like the slides just kind of remind me of my talk track. First few slides, that was a little rough start for me. But I smoothed out very nicely, and it ended up being, I've received quite a bit of feedback. It was engaging. Folks were totally engaged. I asked questions of the crowd, and everyone seemed very curious. And then I played the samples. Sorry, Craig, you were not featured, and it's, you were recording it, and you had an unfair advantage. But I showed Jeff, I showed myself, and then I also showed Scotty on that Voodoo audio, and so I kind of showed me with a rack of gear. I showed Jeff with a more minimalist approach with maybe one piece of rack gear, a mic, and then software-based processing, and then I showed Scott and the 950 SDX Voodoo modified, and they thought it was so awesome. I brought a big PA speaker, and I had my phone connected to it, and so the audio was real clear and loud, and everybody got to hear it, and it was like light bulbs. Everyone's faces perked up like, oh my gosh, that's what you guys sound like?
Oh, good deal. So how many did you convert over? Any?
Well, I did. One of my slides, I talked about what's the entry point? How do I do this? If I want to get into it, what do I do? And I had bundled together in the presentation a Thetis SL40, a M Audio, just a simple DAC, USB DAC, and a Hermes Lite 2. And that was, I said, that's going to get you in, albeit QRP. You add in an RM Italy or another amplifier where you can bring that signal up to 100 watts or even beyond your ESSB at that point.
Bravo, Smitty, WS7K, the real one.
Hey.
Obi.
And good evening, Chris. Well, Smitty, I think you did some good to the hobby there. So at least to the ESSB side of the hobby, I'm kind of curious. Did you get any hecklers, any people that didn't necessarily subscribe to the same premise as we do?
There were about 40 or 45 people in the audience, and not a single heckler. They asked questions. There's some good questions about power concentration, and power concentration when you're at 6 and power concentration at 3. And I talked about how when we process our audio, we look for kind of an even slope of not even a slope, but an even a curvature of energy across the 6, and that's how we're able to fill all 6K. If you were to do that without anything, as the high frequencies just start to roll off, and it was a great question and answer. It was that's why I say the second half was better once people got kind of involved and there wasn't as much mic shy in the room.
Awesome. Is the presentation going to be on your website, the club's website? Did you guys record it?
We did, and it should be up probably in the next few days. I'll let the folks in chat know, and you guys, of course, when it's up. But yeah, it was fun. I had a good time, and the guy that with so many words, the guy that I had asked multiple times to give this presentation. I think I told you guys this. He was a little bit like, I don't know if it's going to have appeal, and a little worried that how it would be taken as a presentation. I mean, I asked like 8 months ago, and so he came up to me and he's like, that was really cool. So that was a win. Awesome,
man. Well, hopefully we can at least get some of those the people that are interested to at least listen to the stream, and that way they can really get a feel for how ESSB is different. You did a good job at explaining the different setups and that, but we got some Flex operators out now with Ether there, so that's another whole. If they've got some of their Flex, maybe that some of the guys have Flexes that they may want to, bring to the next century in terms of the latest software and use their Flexes. So all types of options out there. So anyway, good job, Smitty. And yeah, man, I think you did some good. Congratulations.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We talked about a lot of interest in IMD suppression and smart signal and pure signal and digital pre-distortion and all that. A nice little convoying discussion about that too, regarding just how clean the signals were. Not by ear, but by actually looking at the waterfall and just, here we go, block of cheese, right? The block of cheese. There's a whole slide dedicated to Scott, and one of my slides, the title across the top says, "Why do ESSBers always talk about a block of cheese, question mark?" And so I went through, well, what is that? Why do we talk about that? And pure signal, and then I even had side by side a 6K pure signal and then a 3K dirty, disgusting signal. I didn't make them up. I just found them on the waterfall and took screenshots. And I'm like, if we measure this one right here on the right is 10K with 3K of audio. So 3K of audio, 10K, you do the math, the rest is IMD, right? And then you've got us at 6K right here, all audio, nice and solid. It was cool. It was well received.
With all this cheese and we're still not constipated.
Yeah, we mice are men.
I'm proud of you, Smitty.
Well, I will let you all know there's a blowout. Doggone it, I really don't like those. I will let you all know when it's online. It'll be on the club's website, and I'll let you folks know. Yeah.
Well, we got some pretty good praise from your Facebook club page too. I saw that, I think Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah, it's been a busy few weeks. The club website was recognized by the ARRL as well, not first, second best website, club website in the nation. So getting an award, if you could believe that.
What is it, Smitty?
It's Whiskey 6 Echo Kilo .org. That's W6EK.org.
Nice. I'm gonna look it up.
I looked up the winner, the number one best website, and I will openly say it is very well done. So it was close, but I can see why they're number one.
When we were visiting my dad's new house there, I noticed he very calmly walked through the front door, checked all the rooms out, but there was a bias in the direction of where he was going, and that was to the backyard to look at potential mast points. So we scoped out a few, and I think we can put up a pretty decent, efficient dipole.
No, yeah, that tells you what his priorities are there, James. He's got them in the right place.
Let's go look at the backyard.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, that's what I did secretly when I first visited about a month ago. But he does have his priorities straight, and I think once we get it figured out, and when she's not here and he's here, I'm going to come back over there with some 24-gauge wire.
Very nice. That's what I heard that, Chris.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
That must be Jim tuning up.
KB7,
Yeah.
Phoenix. Good evening, guys.
Yeah, good
Hey,
evening
Chris in
back
Idaho
there in
here.
Michigan
Can you
also.
hear me?
No, the band's getting better. Everybody's getting louder.
Hey, JR, I had heard at some point that you were threatened by that fire. Everything good with the homestead?
Yes, everything's just wonderful. Yeah, we got evacuated 3 times, and our daughter just lives about 20 miles down the road, so we just went to her house. But it's been a long week, I'll tell you.
I bet. I was watching the Reno news last night, or it might have been this morning, or both last night and this morning. But I saw some folks that were kind of up that way, and that had saved some of their property, but lost some of it. And man, that oof.
Yeah, the closest it got to our place was about 3/4 of a mile. And they did a real good job of stopping it so it didn't come down any farther. Although we did have a fire truck in our driveway and a sheriff's unit parked on the corner of the property, so they were ready to protect the house from looting and from fire.
Potato Man here needs to step away for a bit, but I'll be back in about half an hour. WS7K.
All right, 7-3, bud. Don't be shy. Come on back. WB1G.
Hey, James, good to hear you up there.
Yeah, catch you later, James. And JR, so is the fire 100% contained now? I mean, is this drama done for, or do you think it's going to drag on to this week too?
Well, it's not 100%. The last I saw was 84. I didn't see the afternoon briefing. It could be more than that, but somewhere's around there probably. And so they still have some mopping up to do. They have the hot shots that come in, and their Pulaski, or whatever you call the pointed hose, and they dig up actually roots that might be burning under the ground, and they get rid of them. So there's probably a good week of that still left.
Wow. All right. Well, let's fingers crossed. Hopefully you don't have to evacuate for the 5th time. Man, that's crazy. And yeah, I mean the weather out there is not cooperating. Is it being kind of windy, or I know it's been hot and that, but is the wind the culprit here as well, JR, or is it just dry grass and stuff?
A very dry, not only grass, but sagebrush, and then pretty windy in the afternoons, 15, 20 miles an hour, sometimes more in certain places. So yeah, they've had their trials and tribulations, and then we had a storm come in. It produced thunder and lightning and some pretty substantial winds. And they couldn't get the aircraft off the ground. So we went through a day and a half with no aircraft fighting the fire. And that kind of let it get a little even more out of control.
Ouch. Yeah, the reason why the fire we had here in San Diego over the weekend was put out so fast was because they threw a ton of air resources at it, major air resources, and it put it out. I think they contained it to less than a few hundred acres. So, but it makes a huge difference if you can get airdrops on it. It'll basically stop the forward progress really quickly there.
Yeah, they two days ago, when it was getting close to the house and they wanted us to leave again, they had 6 helicopters, and then finally the 727 showed up, and then a C-130 or propeller job from the Air National Guard showed up. And once the big boys got here, they drew a line in the sand, so to speak, and the fire didn't cross it.
Well, I didn't. Yeah, man, I heard quite a bit about it. It was all over and couldn't escape it. Didn't get any of the smoke because, of course, that south and north wind coming off the Sierras. So it was relatively clear. In fact, went up to Virginia City with the wife today, and it was amazingly clear. They said, like a 9 out of 10 kind of day as far as visibility. So smoke didn't make it that way, at least.
Would you stop and have a beer at Bucket of Blood?
I absolutely did. I might have had more than one bucket of beer today, but then I did have to keep myself somewhat on track because, wanted to be able to drive home or help the wife drive home. She was wonderful and didn't require any help today, and so she did it. But yes, I did. That Bucket of Blood, stopped at the Delta Saloon. It was fun, man. I had a really good time up there.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, especially when it's not a weekend and it's not a ton of people.
Exactly. It was super mellow. A lot of places were closed because it's Monday, but it was real mellow. It was quiet. There were folks up there, but it was pretty quiet.
Clock on the wall says it's time to hit the rack.
Almost.
Good to hear everybody. Everybody's sounding very good tonight. Good when I can hear Jeff out there. Yeah, we're so far away. And everybody else, of course, is your usual 5 to 10 over 9 today. 7-3 for now. Going to terminate today's broadcast. K6JR, Northern Nevada.
Always a pleasure, man. 7-3.
Yeah, good night, JR.
Yeah, have a good evening, JR.
Good night.
Good night, JR. I'm happy to hear he's okay with the house.
K5 BLS for the timer.
Yeah, guys, look at that big fat signal down there, 7133. I don't know who that is, man, but look at all that IMD. They're like 30 over to me.
Yeah, I was noticing that. That guy right there.
That's a monster.
134 to 127.
Yeah, his signal's almost gone off my screen in the pan adapter. That's how uncalibrated I am for that type of signal.
You guys think he's barefoot?
Well, he's not running around.
I mean, to me, that looks like an 8 kilowatt kind of signal. Do you think I'm kidding?
That's a Spanish station down there.
It's not like the guy's a little bit above here.
Is he like 20 over to you guys too, or is he just that strong to me?
He's 40 over here.
Oh, I'll measure it this go around, but I mean, he is at least 35, 40 over to me.
And then our other digital signal just fired up at what, 7.2 or whatever that is.
Oh yes, it's 8 p.m. Man, I think Jeff's onto something. This digital station, now if the technicians are allowed and granted privileges down here on 40, I mean, there's not going to be any band left.
Let's just pray and hope that doesn't happen.
Well, I've ramped up the production of the noise toys and beeps, boops, and fart noises and chicken squawkers and whatever else. So I'm counting on that because it's going to be my extra income. 10-4.
Got that Roger beep ready, Jeff?
Yes, sir. Yep, got it right on the nickel here.
Yeah, 88 SA. there's a lot of amateurs out there kind of lazy, right? They don't want to take that general. They want to just have it given to them. So, we all know how much the technician test really does prepare you for general. It gives you basically zero understanding of antennas, HF antennas, and the fundamentals to even create an antenna for HF. So I just honestly, guys, I'd be surprised if half these technicians that are granted general privileges would even be able to get a decent signal on the air with no experience.
Well, I'd like to know from the top brass how they plan on enforcing the power limitations, and also how are they also going to limit the import of Bofang radios, since that hasn't worked.
Well, hey, Smitty, check out chat there. Someone reverse engineered the Optimod remote panel there. It looks pretty amazing.
Yeah, I saw that come through. I was already looking at it. I just didn't want to interrupt you guys, but I'm excited. I'm really excited.
K6XOZ.
Hey, Brennan.
Brandon, Big Signal. Good evening.
Hey, good evening.
Hey, good evening, gentlemen. Sorry, it's my first time back on since I blew up my computer here, so I'm not sure if everything's calibrated correctly. Am I too loud at the moment?
Sound fine here.
You're 30 over. You got some IMD, but that's probably because you're 30 over.
Okay, right. I am putting out a bit of power here. I might dial it back a little bit. Yeah, I spent a little time. It's been so hot outside, and I've got this this old Optimod 9200 with the 1990 MFC interface. So I just worked with Claude code, and I reversed engineered the whole thing and decoded the protocol. So the idea now is that I'll be able to use Thetis to change my profiles, like I have a 3K profile and a 4K profile and a 6K profile and a DX profile that I have to manually switch. So one of the things I'm going to do is set it up to auto change the Optimod, which will be pretty cool, I think.
Interesting. Wow. See, I took the all-inclusive approach. I just narrow out my bandwidth and use the same exact profile.
Oh, wow. XOZ. Okay, wait, yeah, so if I understand you right, you're looking at integrating it, so, just for example, you narrow down your TX filter to 4, and the Orban or the Optimod can change your profile knowing that you've narrowed to 4, for example?
Exactly. So what I've got now is I've got a server running, serving up this UI, but I can also interact with that server. So I when I run DX on 20, I really do. I mean, I really can't use the wide profile. I want to go in there. I might even use the built-in profile is maximum. You need a really punchy output, so you can't really use your wide profile in some of those instances. So it's pretty good. It looks really nice, I think, and I emulated the LEDs on the front panel and went through and calibrated them. So yeah, it's quite exciting to be able to do this kind of stuff finally.
Do you only have it set up for interfacing with the 9200?
We could do a 9300 if you want to try it out.
I was thinking like a 6300.
Oh, sorry, a 6300. Does it have a serial interface?
It has a serial and a network interface, and so I currently work with it all in software. I don't actually touch the buttons in the front.
Oh yeah, well that would probably be, network interface would be a lot easier.
Well, I'll have to catch up with you off air and let's talk about it. That looks really cool.
Hey Brandon, what software stack did you use to do this? .NET, or is it what's the tech stack behind this?
it's the server. The server is it's running in Python.
And then, okay, so what about the front end? What did you write the front end in?
Let's see here. I don't know. I'll have to take a look here. I didn't look at the tech stack.
I'm just kind of curious because looks pretty clean, man. I know probably a lot of it's vibe coded, but it looks clean, and yeah, good job on creating a new interface, a new UI for your Optimod.
Yeah, I think it's up. I think it's up on my GitHub. I'll send you a link to my GitHub. You can have a look at it at some point.
Good deal, man. Looking forward to it. N6MUD San Diego live streaming. Haven't ID'd for a while.
Well, the band's fairly quiet here. Not a whole lot of lightning crashes, which is surprising. Still a lot of lightning out there, but quiet here. How about you guys?
And not too bad tonight. There's a question in the chat here, and I'm not sure that I understand it, but it's a good topic. It says, folks, I'm new to ham radio. Will you guys mind if I ask a few doubts of mine? Are you talking about, do you have doubts or questions or whatnot? You got questions? Sure, go ahead. We'll converse and answer them.
And just a quick call out to KR4KZX. So we're talking about, it sounds like he's upset because he thinks that we look down on technicians based on those comments we made, and that's not what we're saying here. We were just a little upset about the proposed rule change, which allows technicians to automatically get general portions of the ban without taking any tests. That's what that whole thing was about. If you're a technician, I strongly recommend you take the test because that's going to be the easiest way to get your HF privileges. I don't even think this proposed thing is going to pass anytime soon. So anyway, hopefully that clears that up there. N6MUD.
Oh yeah, I definitely wasn't pooping on the tech. I was a tech for 18 years.
BLS at the timer.
WB1G after the timer.
XIZ.
KP up and OPJ.
Hey Chris, are you running version 16 of Thetis? Sorry, not Chris. Brandon.
Yes, I am.
Awesome. Did you discover the new checkbox there for the waterfall to have it in high 4K, whatever, really super high resolution?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's got that extra. There's some extra checkboxes in there, and then some extra controls on like sharpness and smoothing. I think, isn't it?
Yeah, under Setup, Display, General. To the right hand side there's this checkbox that says high DPI 2K mode. Make sure that's checked, and you should see the high resolution of the waterfall.
Is it under the waterfall or is it under general?
It's under Setup, Display, General.
Oh, I got it. Yeah, I haven't checked it. Let me check that.
Oh yeah, your world's gonna change when you check that. It's gonna, as long as you've got a 4K monitor, right?
Oh yeah, I got two of them.
All right, yeah, you'll be impressed hopefully, as long as you got everything else set. But yeah, it makes a big difference. Make sure that box underneath that checkbox quality is set to vivid.
Yeah, I got it. It looks similar. I'm just trying to see the difference. I've got the high DPI 2K mode checked. I've got the quality as vivid. Depth is 16-bit float.
Okay, you should notice a big difference right away. It's probably some other settings in the waterfall. There's a document I'll send you, a Word document or a PDF document that tells you how to set up the waterfall correctly. Maybe I'll send that over to you.
Okay, that'd be great. Thanks.
I just learned me something in chat. The gentleman who had jumped in here says he's from India, and they have two types of licenses there. They've got a restricted grade and a general grade. And restricted grade has limited power access, VHF, UHF, 10 watts. And the general grade throws in HF at 50 watts. And his question, this interesting question to throw around the group here is, so my basic question is that power enough?
Since we're all running 1,000 watts or better, it just depends on the situation. You'd be a little bit more specific on it, but I don't know, man. 50 watts to try to talk between us probably wouldn't work too well.
And Smitty, maybe that's why we don't hear very many stations out of India if they're only running 50 watts, right?
Yeah, no kidding. For the gentleman in chat, I don't want to, obviously make this a one-way thing, but we'd love to understand. So you are limited to 50 watts in India for HF. You can't add a. He says he's never been over 20 watts. Well, let me ask you this. I'm genuinely curious. When I think of India, I think of a lot of noise, like a noisy listening environment. I'm curious what the noise floor is like and where in India. I guess that might also have a giant impact on the answer. But that is definitely, I wouldn't call it QRP, but that's definitely low power. And as somebody running about 1.5 kilowatts right now, I have a hard time saying that that's enough. But again, it depends on where. That's a hard one to answer.
I worked a half a dozen VUs on 80 meters, and I guarantee they weren't running 50 watts.
Well, let's try this here. So there's 50 watts. But I just went from 1,000 to 50. So I doubt that anybody can really hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you, Jeff. So for people out there, he went from 20 over to S7, S8. So there's 50 to 1,000 watts difference there. So that's quite a big difference.
Yeah, but it's definitely subjective, depending on where you are and where the band wants to take your signal. Because where I was once loud into Utah, I can't. There's not even a mumble there right now.
Okay, it looks like a typo here. He says HF is 400 watts.
Okay, 400 watts is good. With 400 watts, we always make a joke here, right? It's the first 500 watts that really counts. Anything over 500 is just diminishing returns, and even today, I strongly still believe that. So yeah, 400 watts is good.
Everybody's got a joke. Just like the 2 jacks and a Coke. God, that was great.
Why stop at 1,500 watts?
21 gigawatts!
Mine only goes to 11.
Great movie.
Oh yeah.
Rest in peace, Rob Reiner.
I dropped my ALC gain down a little bit, and I see that now my levels are sticking right around 0. They might peak a little bit over. but it sounds cleaner.
I mean, you sound excellent here. I don't want to start sending you flowers, and don't want you to start building, IKEA desks, but still.
Yeah, just, looking at the metering here, and I think that actually did some good. I was listening last week, something like that, anyway, and it kind of sounded...
Yeah, that you don't want to sound like that. Tell you what, gentlemen, I do, not that I need it, and I know we just talked about diminishing returns, but it is nice being able to run 1.5 if I so choose to.
Yeah, I'm really glad that you got that fixed. That's awesome.
I am too. And then, the new Lux, too, as well, has afforded me other options. So all in all, good, and more good.
And then, Smitty, a quick question. Do you have any type of, like SDR on or something in the background? Because I hear a slight echo. Almost it's manifesting itself as RF when you're strong, when you're like 20 over to me.
Oh, it might be RF. Oh, you know what I might be doing? Oh, let me check. Maybe I got something turned up that shouldn't be. Let me take a listen on your feed here. Maybe it could be RF. Remember, I did some rewiring here, and I didn't put toroids in all the places that they used to be. So maybe that's it.
Well, it didn't do it on that last transmission, but I'll let you know when it does it again, so you can scrub back to stream and listen. But yeah, it's sporadically in there, man. It's only really noticeable when you're 20 over.
So I did have to hunt for a few cables here to get everything because the mic processor. It didn't have the same output, so I had to switch some cabling and all that. So I could be getting some RF. Thanks for the heads up. I'm going to listen to the stream. Matter of fact, I'm going to roll it back right now and just take a quick listen. I'll be here just listening to both WB1G.
K5 VLS. You're still on the DBX though, right?
Yeah, I'm on the DBX.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I'm kind of curious. Do you hear it, Jeff, or is he not that strong to you?
Well, no, I mean, he's 15 or so over, but yeah, I haven't picked that out.
Yeah, I've got my headphones on, and that's probably why. I don't know if you're probably listening through your speakers there, but I wouldn't worry about it, Smitty. I wouldn't lose sleep over it, but if I hear something, I say something,
That's it. See something, say something.
And KB7 OBJ, Chris, I don't know if you're still out there or not. I think you are. How are you doing, man? Are you healing? Are you mending? How's that leg of yours? Is it getting better?
Idaho is back, but only briefly.
Your signal's building, James. You're getting stronger.
You're finally back in 20 over territory. Hey, guess what? I got my dad hooked on Reacher.
See what's going to happen? He's going to be in front of the TV. He's not going to be on the radio anymore.
No, for real. We got him hooked up on his laptop there with Amazon Prime, and I think for the next 5 days he'll just be sitting in bed binging.
Yeah, copy that. I've got Prime. I need to stop watching that. I see it come up from time to time. I need to at least watch the first episode.
What is this show about? I'm not familiar with this one.
It's this ex-soldier guy that was an investigator, and he's totally autistic, and a savant at figuring out crimes.
All right, back in the chair here. I took a listen. I rolled back and I listened. Yeah, there was something weird there. It almost sounded like somebody was retransmitting me, like I was doubling with myself.
I'm going to say goodnight to my kid. I'll be right back.
All right, James. Yes, Smitty. Well, it sounded like to me you're maybe listening to your monitor or something. It was kind of feeding back through. I don't know, but it wasn't that, right? You weren't doing that.
No, in fact, I looked at the mix minus. I looked at everything that's feeding through, and I didn't see anything odd. It could very well be RF, so I'm going to keep an ear out for it. But no, there wasn't anything feeding back through. I'm not listening to an SDR. I even looked at whether I was feeding the stream back or something like that, and I'm not. That is muted as well. So don't know how I would have accomplished that. But hold on 1 second. No. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. That shouldn't make any difference. So I did have the mic up through the mixer, but hold on. I'm not going to explain this right. Just let me know if you hear it anymore.
Okay. N6MUD, San Diego.
WB1G, Sacramento.
Well, I did not successfully sell the rims tonight. However, he said that he'll be back tomorrow because the bank closed at 5, the same time that he got off of work. So, fingers crossed that tomorrow I'll have no rims sitting in the shed and $1,500 in my pocket.
Awesome. So you got custom wheels on your... I didn't even realize those are custom. I thought those were stock.
No. The silver or polished aluminum rims, wheels, whatever, that I have on the Durango, they are from a Jeep Cherokee. So all I did was buy the Challenger center caps, which are the same type of facade, instead of having the Jeep logo in the middle. So now it's got the little hash tags for the Dodge logo in the middle, and they look like they're supposed to be there, and I think it looks a lot better than the black.
Hey, can you send me a photo or post a photo? I want to check it out. I don't think I've seen it since you've done that, right? Is this a fairly new mod?
No, I've had it done for a while. I've got something here on the PC. I'll go to the web page there and I'll post it up.
Awesome. Well, the fact that you got $1,500 for some stock rims, just the rims, right? No tires, I'm assuming?
No, I took the stock rims and tires and the TPMS sensors off at like 5,000-6,000 miles, something like that, and replaced them with the Toyos. If you remember, I bitched about the mileage, and I wanted to call them Continentals, though that's not, the Pirellis. The Pirelli Scorpions is what came on the Durango, and I hated them when they were on the Challenger, and I bought Toyo Celsius, which blasted through the winter weather here. Fantastic, man. Those are a great set of tires. Anyway, I got those and put those on the rims. I bought the rims for $100 or something like that, and the guy was right down the street from the fire station too, which was awesome. Anyway, so for less than $1,000, I had brand new rims and tires, and I forgot, it was maybe $50 for the TPMS sensors that were aftermarket, and had them mounted balanced. And anyway, so I'm still money ahead. I thought initially that I was going to keep the black ones and run those during the winter, but I think I'm just going to run the Celsius all year long.
Well, that's awesome. I remember when I got my Land Cruiser, it took me a couple months to sell the guy had some aftermarket rims and wheels on there, and sold them to some guy for Tundra, and it took a couple months to sell them, but I got like $1,800 for those wheels and tires. So yeah, interesting how one man's junk is another man's treasure there, Jeff, huh?
I don't know if I'm comfortable talking about one man's junk.
I was just about to say the same thing.
I just kind of lobbed that one to you there, Smitty.
You walked right into that.
I think he backed right into it.
Even. Hold on. Got to give you a slow clap for that one. Well, I've definitely got a little bit of RF in the headphones. That is not cool.
You know, Smitty, I've got the same thing happening here. If I plug into the DAC, I'll hear a little grunge, but it doesn't come out over the air.
I had that.
The grunge I'm hearing in the headset is definitely not coming over the air, but yeah, it's just kind of more annoying than anything.
Yeah, I had to wrap like 3 toys around my headphones cable there, the plug.
You think these headphones, they put the smallest gauge wire. Matter of fact, you ever cut into the wires of a headphone and actually looked? It's like a single strand of copper.
Yeah, and it's so hard to solder or to work with, right?
It's a bitch to work with.
I don't know how they managed to do it in the factories.
Small hands?
Okie dokie.
I just bought a set of headphones off eBay.
What would you buy?
Well, I'm into vintage Sennheiser headphones with 600 ohm coils, and I've got a two HD 430s and a HD 425 all 600 ohms, and I bought this pair of HD 540 reference headphones because they were supposed to be the best of that type, the flagship, and when you know it, they're shot. They're all distorted and one side doesn't work. So the guy's going to refund me. But yeah, I was looking forward to those too.
It's good he's at least going to stand by or stand behind and refund you. That's good stuff.
Yeah, I just love the sound of it. I mean, these things are so light. They're so light on your head, and with a little bit of equalization, they're really clean.
G5 BLS on the tins.
Whiskey Bravo, 1 Germany.
K6XOZ.
So, Brendan, are you using headphones right now, or are you using like monitor speakers or something to listen to us?
I always use headphones, so I never use the speaker. So I've got a pretty nice DAC. I've got a topping DAC and a topping amp with a differential drive, so it's pretty nice. Works out nice.
Yeah, well, yeah, it makes a big difference. I think Ryan, for the first time a couple of nights ago, put on headphones, and he could not believe the difference. But even though I think they're kind of cheap headphones, but he could not believe the difference just putting something up to your ear with somewhat high fidelity, listening to ESSB versus trying to listen to it out of speakers.
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, I was while I was rebuilding my computer over the last couple of days, I did listen to some of your simulcasts. Let's put it that way, the live streams, and I did hear about this Kiwi SDR diversity. So I checked into that. I did download a copy of Aether, but it doesn't run on the anode. I needed a Hermes, which I gave away to my mate. But I did hear that. I'm not sure who it was. Was it Ryan or the other guy who runs Aether? I did hear his demo. Does it work by running 2 different channels into your headphones? Is that how it works?
Yeah, so I actually downloaded Ether this evening, and I fired up, I resurrected my Hermes, and I was playing around with it. So what it does really is it gets the Kiwi SDR stream on whatever frequency you're at, and it gets it at super low latency, like 50 milliseconds. And then what it does is it delays your local receive 50 milliseconds, so the timing's perfect. And then it overlays it kind of blends them together. Or maybe you can put one in one ear and one in the other ear. But yeah, that's kind of how it works. I didn't have too much time to play around with it all features, but you can do that across, I think, 6 or so slices, or maybe 5 slices, so 5 different Kiwis, and you can get diversity from 5 different Kiwis, which is interesting, or whatever,
Oh, that's an interesting feature. I did download it. I ran it on my IC 9700, so it does connect. It connects to the ICOM, UHF, VHF radio and work. But I did talk to my mate in Australia, who I gave that Hermes to, and I told him to download it and try it out. But I'm just thinking, if it works out, I mean, that would be something you could build separately, on your computer, if you have access to the, audio streams. And I have, when I worked on that transcription software that I worked on a few months ago, or a couple of months ago, I did test it with Kiwi SDR using their direct API. So it would be quite easy to reproduce that functionality as a standalone, filter. You could apply.
Yeah, you could definitely get the Kiwi SDR side. I understand that's all APIs, but how would you get the timing of your Thetis, your local receiver? How would you retard that? Delay it a little bit so that it matches the Kiwi. I don't know how you do that through Thetis. That's the part that I'm not too sure about.
Well, I mean, I would think you could just get it you could just do it using the audio stream, right? Because everything you've got is running in and out through, ASIO drivers or, whatever. And you know that you can control the latency by buffering. So I reckon you could do it independent of Thetis and just do it by the audio stream.
You could probably do it using something like Stereo Tools and just building a buffer delay in it. So you delay the audio coming out of Thetis and then, mix in. It's almost kind of like what I'm doing right now, but I'm not delaying my Thetis audio. But that gives me an idea. Maybe I can. But I kind of don't know that I like that, because if I understand correctly, it's going to slow the QSO down. And in our kind of environment where we're kind of, nipping at each other's heels, for example, it may have weird effects.
Well, somehow Ether managed to get the Kiwi stream at 50 milliseconds. So Smitty, I didn't think really you'll notice 50 milliseconds delay. That's pretty efficient right there.
Oh, okay, it's only 50 milliseconds. So yeah, I probably won't notice that.
I don't know how they're doing that, but yeah. Anyway, I'm going to play around with it more when I have more time tomorrow. But my Hermes and Ether, it looks like it works great. I just have, like I said in the beginning here, I just got to figure out 88SA. Maybe you can help me here. How do I create a new TCP client? TCI client, so I can then connect my my amplifier, which needs the frequency from Ether, so it'll tune right. So I know there's a TCI section, but there's no way to add a new server or turn the server on or anything like that. So I'm kind of curious, where do you configure and how do you set up a TCI server in Ether in 6MUD?
Hey guys, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news or be a potty poopa, but I am just exhausted from the weekend and exhausted from the day. I thought my days of moving people or moving people into apartments stopped long time ago, and that's not the case, and my bones hurt. So I'm going to go lay down. I'm going to go get horizontal, maybe watch a little TV, maybe, something. But at any rate, I'm gonna sign off the air here and maybe even go to sleep. But it was great catching up with you guys. By the way, Craig, congratulations, great work on the chat. It was awesome being able to see both chats one place. I love it. It's working great. Jeff, good hearing you, man. Thought about you as I was up in Virginia City, coming down the hill, looking down at Carson City, but I knew you were at work. And the rest of you, 7-3 to y'all. Again, I'm pooped.
All right, Smitty.
Make sure you take your Metamucil.
Have a good evening, Smitty. And that last transmission, if you want a good reference point, that was 100% RF or whatever that effect was happening for most of that transmission there. But you're 25 over. So, all right, catch you later, Smitty. Have a good evening, and maybe we'll catch you tomorrow night in 6MUD.
Time for me to buy a few extra tour rides. Maybe. WB1G73.
Don't buy them, I've got them.
Okay, cheerio, mate.
And Jeff, I like the silver wheels much, much better, man. Good job.
Yeah, thanks. So do I. Much, much better. Gives it some contrast and breaks everything up.
Also, are they bigger tires? Are they the same size? Like, is it actually a bigger tire or the same size tire as the black ones?
They are actually just one size bigger, and it's not even a half an inch wider, and not even a half an inch taller. So, but it makes a big difference because of the way that the tires are designed. They have more of a rounded appearance, and they do stick out a little bit from the rim, which is what I intended, because, you know, all these new tires, they have the flat sidewall, and man, if you happen to even just bump a curb, now you've scraped all the metal off of your rim.
Oh yeah, man. That's why when I go off-roading, that's why my Land Cruiser tires are, you know, some guys want more wheel, less tire. I'm the opposite, man. I want as much rubber and protection from those rocks as I can get. So yeah, 100% I agree. My wife's BMW is notorious for that, and maybe Brandon the same way, right? BMWs, they have these high-performance tires, and it's so easy to scrape up the rims on a curb. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, Roger. I one of the times I went to Discount Tire, they wrecked the rims. And they had to pay to get them fixed.
Oh, putting the tires on, the new tires on, they actually scratched the wheels. Yeah, I could see how that could happen on BMWs.
Yeah, they didn't scratch it. They put some kind of tool in and took a big chunk out of the rim where the tire goes.
Oh, they probably used a pry bar to pop the tire off of the rim, and it scarred it.
Yeah, these are the 335D rims are a pretty nice rim. They're kind of a silvery color. So they actually sent some mobile rim guy out, and too bad Smitty isn't here. Then he gave me a rim job on both front wheels.
Oh, good Lord, that deserves one.
So is it like new? I mean, can you even tell that the guy took care of fixing them?
Well, when it was done, it was like new, but that was some years ago. Now they're all dinged up again.
Well, that was the other thing that I hated about those black rims, because, I mean, you even catch like a stone chip. There's a little silver flake there. And if you got OCD like I do, that will bother you, and that's the only thing you'll focus on.
Yeah, that's one of the things, right? People will say, why don't you lend your car out to a buddy? And I'm not worried about like a major accident. I'm worried about that type of stuff where they mistakenly rub against the curb, whatever, and scratch the wheels, or rock chips. I don't know, man. It's just one of those things where anything can happen, and it may not be a big deal to them, but to you, it's someone like me. Also, I'm the same way. I don't want any of that crap happening to my my truck's one thing, but to my wife's car, it's pretty good shape, and having someone run up a curb or something and scratch the hell out of the rims, it's not worth it.
Absolutely. There's another picture that I was able to take in the dusk there, Craig. That's with the aftermarket replica OEM fog lights. Well, they're not actually fog lights. They're called driving lights. But for mine are fog lights. I put a amber overlay on them. That's a paint protective film.
Looking good there, Jeff. Yeah, man. Like those, the color, the difference there. They're not like super, bright amber, but they're enough color offset to have that kind of a real cool looking effect there. So I know they're aftermarket, but nice job on making it not too over the top.
Yeah, well, the big point is that they're effective, because if you've ever tried to drive through fog or even snow with those white headlights, it's blinding. They're almost pointless to have them on. So with those, I can see to drive during the nighttime. And during fog, snow conditions, those things just blast through, and they work great.
Yeah, that's why I've got two types of lights on my Land Cruiser. I've got the super bright Baja Designs amber lights, the round ones, and super bright, really good for fog and dust. And then I've got my light bar, which is super bright white light, and each of those has their benefits there based on the driving conditions.
Yeah, and I like them even better because they're aftermarket, so I was able to wire them so that they run independently of whatever the headlights are doing, because typically when they're factory installed, the low beams are only on when the headlights are on. So even if you run the parking lights, the driving lights will shut off. Now I can control those, and they will be on any time the vehicle's running, but as soon as it shuts off, of course, they'll turn off because I don't want to kill the battery. But now I can run them whether I have the low beams or the high beams on.
Yeah, that's how mine are too. Although for my white lights, Jeff, for my white light bar, I have those wired into the high beam. So when I put my high beams on my truck, it turns on the super bright white light bar. And the big important thing is when I shut the high beams off, it shuts off the light bar, and it enables me to really use that light bar when I'm out in the middle of nowhere driving on a highway or whatever, and there's no lights. It's a lifesaver.
Yeah, when I had the F-150 with all the extra lights on it, I had those semi-wired in, and kind of the same thing. If I turned the high beams on, it would activate some of the others to supplement the high beams. So if I were to turn the white lights on in the light bar that I had on the truck, along with the ones that were off-center from the license plate, and the driving lights that were the fog lights, or whatever you want to call them, the factory ones plus the LED headlights. Oh boy, that was an eyeball buster. I miss the F-150. I just don't miss the gas mileage.
Hey, babe. This is the one that we've been looking at, right? Yeah, but, yeah. It'll be on there forever, probably. Yeah. Oh, wow, that 335D there, Brandon, looks awesome. Those are nice. Those are the nice wheels for sure.
Yeah, the 335s came with a different wheel than most of the like the 335Is.
See, and that's the problem that I have with all these new cars, is it's mostly rim and so little tire that, man, you even just graze a rock and they're scratched.
Yeah, I mean they're low profile. When I first got this car, it only had, I mean, it was, only had like 4,500 miles on it, and it had run flat tires, which were terrible. And so I got rid of those straight away. But it does have staggered tires, so the back wheels have thicker rims than the front, which means you can't rotate them. And with all the torque in that car, you really go through your back tires quickly.
Yeah, my wife's the same way. Nowhere near as much torque, but her car's got the staggered rear, the staggered wheels, so you can't rotate them. The back are wider than the front. So, but it's performance, man. That's why they do it. It does make a difference from what I hear. It's the reason why the higher end BMWs have those different size wheels.
Yeah, tell me about going through back tires. I've got that 19 Challenger with the bumped up 392 motor.
Yeah, and your rear tires are different size than the front, right?
Me or Brennan?
For your Challenger, yeah, for you.
Oh no, mine are squared. They're sitting on 13-inch wide tires all the way around.
Okay, so at least you can rotate yours. So that's the benefit there, Jeff. But I get it. They still don't last long, huh? You probably go through them pretty quickly.
Well, no, because the back ones are a different compound and a different tread pattern than the front ones. They're both made by Nitto, but the back ones are specifically street slicks. I will probably have to change those next year, and they're like $500 a piece. At least they were when I put them on the car. But they don't last long because it's a really soft compound. It's designed to grip and grab without having to be burned out to get them to heat up.
Almost like you got dragster tires on that thing, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. It's a very soft, sticky rubber compound on the back. And I still can't keep it hooked up.
When's the last time you took the Challenger out for a drive? Has it been a while?
Oh yeah, it's been quite a while. I was going to drive it this week in K5 BLS for ID, by the way. I was going to take it out this week, but something said, no, something's wrong. I shouldn't do that. And I almost got hit this morning. So maybe that was it. But yeah, that was in the Durangos, right down at the end of the street here. And one of the construction guys in the construction zone wasn't paying attention, didn't do a shoulder check, and he went to go pull into the active lane. And I was right there. I saw him coming, laid on the horn, and he immediately swung the wheel the other way. But otherwise, he was going to T-bone me in a construction zone that was his construction zone.
No, that sucks. Good thing you're paying attention. That's awesome. At least you were able to avoid that.
Yeah, well, anyway, you remember the issue I had with the paint and all that stuff on the Durango when I first got it with all that damage. I mean, it was like $16,000 worth of damage from that sandstorm.
Yeah, but I'm kind of curious, like if you drive through a construction zone or something, are you noticing chips on the paint, or is it still pretty clean?
Well, geez, because they gave it back to me in the middle of winter, it wasn't 2 weeks later, and I already had stone chips in the front fascia again. I mean, there was just no way I could go without it for any further length of time, to let the paint cure better. So, I mean, it's Nevada. We have rocks and we have sand. It's an unfortunate side effect of living here.
Didn't you put some of that protective film in the front, Jeff? I think you did, right?
Well, I only did that on the headlight and the fog light modules. I was never able to get it put on the front of the vehicle. It would need to be paint corrected or paint prepped or whatever for that to happen, and everything out here is over $2,000 for that.
Yeah, geez. Hey, Brandon, what year is that 335? Is that what, 2010 vintage, or how old is it?
It's a 2011. It's the last year that they made it. That was the last year of the 335D.
Yeah, it's the best year to get those. Is the final year of each of those vintages because they iron out all the bugs. No more issues. So you don't see too many of those around these days. Those are kind of rare. The diesels.
Oh yeah, you see it every once in a while, but then again, I would notice them because I put that catch can in there, or the oil separator, and then I put my tune back on. So I'm running this stage 2 Malone tune or Tunezilla tune on it. The thing is great, and then I had bought a new steering wheel from eBay about 2 years ago. It was sitting in my box here, and I finally installed it. So that had the shifter paddles on it, and so like a couple of days ago, I retrofitted that in there. So now I've got manual shift on the wheel, which is pretty nice. It's quite interesting. I'm just waiting. I'm just going to tune the gearbox a little bit. I have a tune. It's called XHP, which lets me tune the gearbox, but I can't find the dongle anywhere, so I had to go order a new one. So I'm going to go in there and adjust the shifting and the throttle blips and things like that. So it's quite a fun little toy to have.
Yeah, my hers is automatic, but she's got the paddle shifters. So when you're using the paddle shifter mode, it's got I think it's like dual clutch, right? So it shifts like it's a manual, but really it's an automatic. It shifts really quickly. I don't know how to explain it, but interesting mode the BMWs have with the paddle shifters.
Yeah, right. Well, this one's a bit old, probably a bit older than your wife's. This has got like a ZF6 HP, so it's only a 6-speed auto. It's a good one though. But that's the vintage. I think the later models had like an 8 gear gearbox.
Yeah, I think yours has got 8 speed, but we rarely ever do the paddle shifting thing, so I don't know. But it is pretty cool technology to have. And Jeff, does your Durango have the paddle shifters? It does, right? I'm assuming it does.
Yeah, they're on there. I have them disabled because it never fails. I go to turn the wheel and I end up bumping that thing, and it takes the transmission up or down a gear.
Interesting. For the BMWs to work, you got to have the shifter in a special mode for it to, as far as I know, for those paddle shifters to do anything.
And I would have thought that too, because there's the sport mode that's on there, and it's only a 3-position stick that's in the console. And then when you flip it, I think it in or out, something like that, it has a lateral movement, and that's when the paddle shifters become the primary directive, and it doesn't shift like it normally would with an automatic. So I've never tried that since I disabled the paddles, but I seem to think that they're still disabled. I don't know. I'll have to check that out tomorrow. Now I'm kind of curious.
Yeah, well, these ones, I'm running a retrofit kit. Not a kit, but you can code in the paddle shifters if you have the coding software, which I don't. But the other way to do it is you disassemble the actual paddles, and inside there's like a voltage divider network. When you actuate the paddle, it changes the voltage. So basically, you do a little bit of surgery on that and turn it into an open-close switch, and then you run a cable down into the transmission gear shift down in the center console, and intercept intercept a cable harness, and that basically lets you shift up and down as if you were running the stick up and down in manual mode.
Interesting. So you had to install the paddles yourself, huh?
Well, I bought a steering wheel like 2 years ago on eBay, and it had the paddles. The paddles were on it. The 335D that I have, it's a sport model. It's the sports package, but it's not the M sport package, which had the paddle shifters.
Yeah, you pay so much extra money for that M. It's not even worth it.
Yeah, and I did. I mean, like a year ago, you would have seen all my pictures, Craig. But I did put this thing up on 32-inch jack stands, and I changed all the suspension, to Bilstein shock absorbers and struts, and I retrofitted all the M control arms in there. So it's got quite a good sports suspension now.
I dropped the rear of the Challenger with just springs, only 1 inch, and boy, what a difference. It hooks up a lot better too. Before it looked like a lifted truck in the back. They had way too much spring happening in the rear. I understand that if you load a bunch of crap into the trunk and maybe put some people in the back seat, those two things will never happen while I own the car, but now it sits nice and level. I'm sure there is something to do with probably aerodynamics for fuel ratings, mileage, whatever, and that too. Law of physics, if you drive a brick into the wind, it doesn't cut through the wind as much as if you tilt the brick so that the front corner of it's going through the wind. But it looks and functions much better.
I bet, yeah, that this I got this kit from a place called Strut Monkey, and they have the front suspension with the springs, or the lowering springs, everything already constructed together, so you don't have to have like a spring compressor and so forth. So yeah, so mine gave me an overall 1 inch lowering as well. It really does make a difference, especially the factory suspension was it had over 100,000 miles on it, so it was pretty well shot.
Oh yeah, you're talking a coilover. That's what that sounds like. That's where it's at, man. If you're going to do a lowering anything, coilover kits are the thing to get.
Yeah, it's it's the ride's probably more harsh for you, Brandon. You probably feel every bump, every puddle, but the cornering is probably amazing. Lowering it 1 inch and then putting some high performance tires on it probably makes a world of difference.
Oh yeah, no, I think it's great. My wife doesn't like it though.
Yeah, well, that's why you've got this little weekend driver car, right? This is not your daily, is it?
No, this is my daily, but she has a GMC Sierra truck, so that's her favorite. She likes the big, spacious ride.
Okay, yeah, it's a big difference. That's what I have to deal with when I go from driving my Land Cruiser on 34-inch tires, 7,000-pound truck to my wife's BMW. Quite the transition when you go between the two driving.
That's what I liked about getting into the Durango from the Honda. There was nothing wrong with the Honda, absolutely nothing. It for an average, everyday, do what you need to, had plenty of space, blah, blah, blah. It was just boring to drive. So now I have a little bit less internal storage capacity, but it's a lot more like a sports car inside, and the seats are much more conformal fit with the big bolsters and stuff. and it looks, more aggressive. So I don't know. It's just it transforms the driving experience. I got a little bit better gas mileage in the Honda. It did okay during the winter, but it was just meh. So I'm glad I got this. Big downside is this one's more likely to get stolen than the Honda ever would have been.
Yeah, but that's why you garage it. Well, actually, you don't garage it. Not in Carson City, but at least in Fallon, do you put it in the garage or does it stay outside?
No, it's going to get the snot beat out of it by the sun out here. Another reason to move. No, it never goes in the garage, unfortunately. But this is the one that's got the 2 GPS trackers in 2 different locations in the vehicle, and the remote shutdown, and the alarm system, and the kill switches, and the neutral safety lockouts, and all that crap. So I tried to throw everything I could at it. Wheel locks on the wheels, and anything to slow them down and say, no, this one isn't worth it, we'll go to something else. Where the car is. I always know what the operating conditions of the vehicle is. I can lock and unlock the doors remotely from my phone. I can see what the temperature is outside and inside. I can remotely start it, from anywhere in the world. I have cellular connectivity to temperature control the inside of the vehicle, blah, blah, blah. So I don't think I can roll the windows down, but I don't see any purpose for that. So anyway, there's some cool factor in that too. Pun intended for the summertime, of course.
Copy. And Brandon, 515 pounds of torque, man. That's some torque there. That's that diesel. It's that diesel engine for you. 515 pounds of torque and 350 out of 352 horsepower. That's quite a lot of torque.
Yeah, it's great too because it's low RPM as well. So it really just effortlessly pushes you along without really feeling like you're making the car do a lot of work.
Well, that's where mine's at, but it's significantly heavier than your car. That's the downside, and I don't think mine hits max torque until about 38 or 4,000 RPM. But mine's 515, 520, and that was with just pump gas at altitude. So I'm anxious to take it back east and see what it does at sea level with some better gas.
Oh yeah, I think there's some places around San Diego where you can get like 100 octane, or you can go out to, I think in like Nevada though, right? They have race gas.
Vegas, they have it.
Yeah, I mean, there's some places that you can buy it at the pump, but they're very few out here, at least up in northern Nevada anyhow. I'm sure there's probably more places in Vegas. E85 conversions are really the popular thing here, and people buy E85 by the 55-gallon drum and run it that way. That obviously will squeak a little bit more of the torque and horsepower out, but then you're limited to, you got to find E85 someplace at a pump if you ever want to go anywhere in the vehicle. So I did not want to do that. Just because it's not something that's available everywhere here in Nevada. And I don't understand why, because the gas is cheaper.
Can't you just splash a little E85 into your tank?
Possibly could, but with the high level of tuning, the dyno tuning that was done, I don't want to upset anything. I'd rather just run it the way that it was tuned. I don't know that it would cause any problems or it would add any benefit, so I've left that alone. The only thing I've done is I can put in octane booster I just don't like to do that a lot because the chemical that they put in there for the engine to burn leaves a really ugly yellow coating on the spark plugs and probably the combustion chamber too, but that's the only thing you can pull out are the spark plugs. And a lot of people that use that on a consistent basis, they have to pull all the plugs out. And that thing's got 16 spark plugs, man. That's not a day's work that I really want to deal with.
Oh yeah. And Steve 88SA, he posted in there. He's gone back in the day. Looks like he is a sleeper there. Wow. But yeah, you know, Jeff, I think the biggest thing here though is you want to make sure the Challenger, sure, you know, you want to make sure it's fast and quick, but at the end of the day, you want to make it so you can just take it out for a drive and not worry about breaking stuff, not worrying about finding the right gas for it, right? So you got to make it somewhat drivable still. It's not like this is going to be your track only car. So I think you're going down the right path there and not completely just making it such a pain about the drive that you never drive it.
Yeah, well, that's what I told the guy that I had do the build for me, and I watched a lot of videos, and I looked at a lot of people's dyno sheets, and I looked at a lot of material, researching on what to do to that, just to squeak a little bit more out of it, because right out of the box, those cars are badass from the factory. You know, they're pretty respectable. They leave a little bit on the table, but not much. The only thing that makes a Hellcat so amazing is the injection and the forced air on that motor. Otherwise, the motor itself, there's nothing special about that. Putting the camshaft, doing the ported intake, opening up the throttle body, adding better spark plugs and better ignition system, the coils that I put on there. Opening up the restrictions on the exhaust a little bit, although I did put catalytics back in it, and the full-length headers, that made an enormous difference. And man, when you put on the track mode and you nail that thing from a stoplight, you feel every bit of that when it pins you in the seat. So it was worth it. But I can still drive it to McDonald's. And K5 BLS on the 10s.
Yeah, you can still drive it down and meet Smitty for ribs, right?
Yeah, well, right, yeah. I drove it down to Summit and met him in the parking lot that day. He picked up his stuff and pulled away from him like he was sitting still. That was a day when the tires actually hooked. I was impressed.
Probably has a lot to do with the temperature of the pavement for that, right?
Indeed. Yeah, at this point, I don't think that I will go back with the street slicks. The amount of mileage that I have to waste on those going back and forth to Reno or Carson, it's 60 to 80 miles each direction to go back and forth. That's a lot of wasted wasted rubber, wear and tear on those particular tires. So if I stay out here and I have to replace those, I'm probably just going to replace them with the same thing that I have up front, the 555s, and just go that route. They're just as wide. It's a little bit harder compound, but it's more like an all-season high-performance radial.
N6 MUD for ID. How's have you heard anything about that interview you did, Jeff? How's it looking, or is it just like a waiting game at this point for Motorola?
Yeah, I think it's a waiting game, and I mean, he explicitly said they're looking, and it's been open for 2 months, almost 3 now, and I think that they're probably leaving some people's names on the table and see what happens. Maybe they're hoping something better comes along, but at the pay scale that they're looking for, the level of experience, I think they're going to be hard-pressed to find what it is they're looking for. So hopefully I'm one of the people they left on the table, and I'll get a recall maybe for a second round. But, it took them 2 weeks to get back to me, almost 2.5, before they answered and requested the interview. So, I don't know. That's where I think I'm just, going to leave it. If they do, great. If they don't, great. But at least I proved to me that the skills that I have and the way that the resume is written is valid and good enough to attract a high-level employer like that. Then there's nothing wrong with what I've done and what I've got on there.
Yeah, but believe it or not, I applied for a couple jobs today. Every single resume I submit, I rewrite it. I have AI helps me, but I rewrite that resume specifically for the job I'm applying for. It helps. It takes a lot of work to do it, but it definitely helps out. So I don't know. I think you did that for that. Did you rewrite your resume just for that one particular job? I think you did, right?
I tailored it a little bit more for that one, but I didn't completely rewrite it. Had I known that whole AI bullshit thing was going on when I put in for that first one at that hospital facility, then I absolutely would have done that. But going forward, anything more, but just because I had such applicable skills and I've already worked for Motorola subsidiaries before, I pretty much left everything that was on there, and they brought it all up, so it was relevant.
Yeah, I don't necessarily change my experience. I just highlight certain things. If there's a certain thing I did at a job that meets something in the post, then I'll highlight that, right? So that's kind of how I do it. So, and I like to think it helps, but we'll see. We'll see in the next couple of weeks what happens here. So, but anyway, keep on applying, man. Just keep on looking, and hopefully you'll find something out there in Ohio. 88SA is out in Ohio, so you have a buddy out there. You and him can do ESSB on 40 meters. You should probably be too close to each other.
Well, there you go, Steve. Yeah, we can become the East Coast ESSB group. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I on both my Dodges, they came with the Pirelli Scorpions, and like you said about those custom summer tires, Pirelli Scorpions are crap. I had nothing but bad things to say about the ride quality and the way that they pull in the road and the gas mileage. Oh my God. So anyway, K5 BLS.
K6 XOZ. Yeah, I think I've thrown a rod bearing or something in my. I have a WRX, and it's got an engine problem which I need to. It's in my driveway. I'm thinking of pulling the engine and having a look inside to see what's going on there. But for that car, I used to use Toyo tires. I think it was like an N4 or SR4. They were fantastic tires.
How much horsepower does your WRX have? Those can be pretty souped up with the turbo, right?
Yeah. So that WRX that was a sleeper WRX. Back in 2008, I had I blew the engine up in that thing, and it was a factory. It was a 2-liter boxer engine, like 227 horsepower. And then what I did is I had it rebuilt. I had it rebuilt with a 2.5 liter STI block. I left the original 2 liter head on there, so it was a hybrid build. And I put in a bigger turbo, bigger fuel pump, bigger injectors, and I had it dyno tuned, and it was about like 300 wheel horsepower and, maybe 180 or 200 foot-pounds of torque, something like that. It was pretty good in the day, and I remember a few times demoralizing guys in their souped-up, riced-out little Japanese cars with this thing that looked like the standard baseline WRX.
The little Honda Civics. But even still, right? Your 335D's got way more torque than WRX, which is interesting. But it's just a diesel, so diesel gives you all that torque there. I had a friend who had a WRX, and he did some modifications to it, and I went for a drive in that thing, and I wasn't expecting it. Put me back in the seat, almost like my other friend who had a Porsche 911 Turbo. Although the 911 Turbo is probably more faster, but I got to tell you, man, that for rotary drive, are they rotary drive? Yeah, the WRXs, those are rotary, or is that Mazda? I think I'm talking about RX-7s or whatever. But anyway, it was a lot faster than I was expecting.
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, the Mazda, they had like a RX-7, which was a rotary Wankel rotary engine, I think they call them. I think they've discontinued them because they're they wear out and have problems, but they do generate a lot of torque. On the WRX, it had symmetrical all-wheel drive, which was great because you could and it was a manual, so you could drop the clutch, like launch that thing, and you would not easily lose traction. When you did, you'd leave a skid, like a diagonal skid mark. You'd have like a one skid on the, say, the front left tire and one skid on the back right tire, and that would be about it. The thing would stick like glue to the road, and it was light. So and the engine is like this, boxer engine. So it's a flat, horizontally opposed 4-cylinder engine. So it had its own, like you said, it has its own dynamic to it, and its weight, its power to weight ratio is great.
I'm back, guys. KB Sup and OPJ.
Oh, hey, Chris, welcome back. Just talking cars here, and the WRX, Brandon, you said it's mechanically it's not working, or is that, do you still drive that WRX very often, or is it sitting on blocks right now?
It's just sitting in my it's been out of commission for about 6 months now. So I need to pull the engine out and have a look at the rod bearings and those things, So it's on my list. It's on my list to rebuild.
That's awesome. You sound like quite the motorhead then, between all of the projects you've been working on. So, good deal. N6MUD San Diego. What's going on, Chris? I was going to ask you earlier. I think you cleared, but how are you doing, man? How's that leg of yours? Is it healing up okay?
Well, the bruising's going away. I still have some pulled muscles. And today was probably the first day I felt really good with it. I'm still having pain, internal pain. I go back to the doctor the 20th. They're going to do another, a scan to check and see if there's any more blood clots left.
All right. Well, it sounds like you're getting a little bit better there. And I'm assuming those solar panels are just sitting on the trailer, right? You probably haven't even had a chance to unload them, huh?
Nope, they're sitting on the trailer. I got a friend going to come over, the same guy that helped me the first time, Wednesday. And then Wednesday I got to go pick up an AC for Saturday's install.
Yeah, you can never have too much solar, I tell you. Especially with the shenanigans of pulling out here in California. You don't get 1-for-1 anymore, and no one even close to it. So it's pennies on the dollar if you put stuff back in the grid. So But anyway, I digress. Well, hopefully you won't have as much drama. Hopefully it'll just be a stress-free unloading, and you can you and your buddy can get it done and not get hurt this time.
Yeah, I'm gonna stack them up on the side of the house on the concrete, and they're gonna just stay there until I figure out what I want to do with them.
Just hopefully they don't attack you again.
Yeah, this was not fun, guys. I tell you, 30 panels was like 1,500 pounds that fell on me.
And I'm surprised your leg didn't get completely amputated, man. I'm surprised you actually have that thing still functional.
Well, I mean, it wasn't all of 1,500 pounds. I mean, there's 45 pounds of panels, 30 panels. When it tipped over on me, I'm sure it's not the full weight, but, it was a good couple of 100 pounds regardless. It did crush my leg. It bruised the bone pretty good.
A break?
Breaker, go ahead.
Yes, I think it's Craig, N6 MUD, Whiskey 9, Charlie Tango, Yankee, Dick in West Hollywood.
Hey, Dick. Hey, man. It's been a while since I talked to you. How you doing? How's West Hollywood treating you in that you're in a little apartment, right?
Yeah, a little condo here. Just 100 watts to the Hustler mobile whip on the balcony tonight.
Good deal. Hey, if you want to hear yourself, Dick, check out, I'm live streaming, by the way. Just check out YouTube, type in my call sign, N6MUD, and you can hear yourself. But you're coming in really strong. 100 watts, you're in the red, probably 5/9, sounding good.
Well, that's good. I appreciate that. In fact, I was wanting to toy with the settings on the rig here a little bit. If you've got a moment, I would appreciate just a check between a couple of different settings.
Yeah, go ahead. We've got a couple other guys out here that've got good ears, too, so go ahead.
Yeah, no, I've been sitting for a while enjoying the car talk, so this will be position number 1. I'll give you a count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let me go to the next one. All right, this is the second audio setting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead.
All right, second one's way louder, more compression, stronger signal, but you don't sound as clean. What do you think, Jeff?
Yep, I will second that. And you went from about an S7, S8 to almost 5 over with the change in those two profiles. It just definitely got louder. I'm not hearing you quite with the fidelity that I'm sure Craig is, but you're making it up here to Carson City, Nevada pretty well.
Okay, good. Well, that tells me a little something. I just basically changed the band pass. What you're hearing now is the 100 to 29, and the previous was the 300 to 2400 here on the DX10.
Okay, the 100. So the DX10, you know that you can do the TTBF modification to take you out to 4 kilohertz, right?
I guess I do know that, but I haven't done it.
Okay. Well, one of these days, check it out, do it, and come back. And because I mean, we're all about audio here, right? And basically higher fidelity. And there, Jeff has a DX10, and he's got that DX10 to sound pretty good, at 4 kilohertz wide. So you may not be into ESSB or wide signals, but at least you got the ability to do that on that radio. It's quite nice.
Well, I would be appreciative of any sort of information about mods that can be provided. I'm about fidelities, having worked in broadcasting all my life, so anything I can do to make it sound bigger and better, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I don't know the sequence, but if you Google TTBF DX10, it's a power on sequence. So you hold on a couple buttons when you power on the radio, and then it provides you the ability to do 4 kilohertz wide. Maybe, Jeff, can you remember exactly what you did to get your radio in that mode?
Yeah, actually, you only have to do it once. but it will enable 4,000 to 50 hertz bandpass on transmit. You know, you can already do that on receive by touching the 3K receive filter there and changing it to 12, and it will automatically put the receiver out at the full width of 4K, so you'll be able to hear better. Maybe you knew that, maybe you didn't. Anyhow, let's see. If you press and hold the DNR and the mode button while powering the radio on, you won't see anything happen, but once you've done that, if you hit function and then go down to the radio settings tab at the very bottom of the screen on the left, you'll see one of the menu items there is bandpass filter or bandwidth or something to that effect. I'm sorry, it's TX bandpass filter select, TX BPF select. Highlight that and then rotate your dial and you'll see TTBF text appear in the screen. That is the 4K mode.
Okay, yeah, well, that's what I'm looking at right now. In fact, that's what I was switching back and forth between, so I'm familiar with that setting. And so, DNR, mode and power on.
Yep, and like I said, you only need to do it once. If you ever want to revert, you just go back to that screen and roll it back to the 100 to 29 or 3000 or whatever the default is. I don't remember, but anyway, it will not filter as well as the narrower settings, but you know, as long as you constrict the audio and not blow out the ALC, you should be good.
Okay, well, sounds good to me. Like I said, just have this, the DX10. I had no amplifiers or anything like that, so I'll give that a try.
Yeah, well, you sound very good for a DX10 right now.
Okay, well, this is the 100 to 2900 that I'm on, so not as punchy. Actually, that's the hard thing for me to determine whether this is punchy or DX as opposed to the 2400, which I suspect is a little bit better.
Well, good luck, Dick, with that. And if you want to do it now and come back, we can, and you could hear yourself also on the stream too. But come back and we can give you some guidance there if you need some.
I appreciate that. And as I was saying, I did enjoy the car talk. I'm kind of a car guy myself, so enjoyed the road and track conversation.
Oh yeah, we try to mix it up here on ESSB Audio Outlaws, different topics. I know car talk's not for everyone out there. Sometimes we get tired of talking about audio and radios and antennas. So, you know, it's good to have we all have other hobbies and other interests too. So it's good to change it up once in a while. What do you think, Jeff?
Yeah, sometimes we'll throw stuff in here about photography too. That's it seems to be a pretty common thread amongst quite a few of us. So I'm anxious to be getting into that while I'm out too and using my new full frame, new to me anyway. So the longest lens I've got is a 70 to 200. I hope that's good enough for my trip, but I've got a couple others for a little bit wider stuff, and anxious to see what I can get and capture the memories, because this may be the one and only time I go to Alaska. Who knows? We'll see.
Now I've got a couple of bikes full of Nikons here, and going all the way back to an F1. And as to cars, my belief is if it has four wheels and goes fast, I'm there.
And KA6JAR, nice Cadillac there, man. That looks sweet. If you want to check out the pictures there, Dick.
It's just a weekend driver. It was actually my grandpa's car. It's a 2000 with 25,000 miles.
Is that the North Star V8 in that?
Oh, yeah. With luckily no leaky head gaskets yet.
Oh, yeah.
From northeastern Arizona, WA7 CCA.
Hiya, Mark.
Hey, Mark. Good evening.
Yeah, we made it over here and heard you guys on, so I thought I would pop in and say hello.
So I missed your introduction. Are you I think you said you're in Arizona. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm your DX station tonight.
Yeah, DX station at 10 to 15 over. I tell you, man, it's hard for me to tell every time you do this between Big Bear and Arizona. You know, between, I don't know, 100 miles and a few hundred miles. It's crazy.
Well, it's kind of all by design.
I don't know, Mark, have you checked out n6mud.com? We've got chat going on there now, and there's a bunch of photos and that. So if people start referencing pictures and that, then that's where you got to look at them if you want to post in there. So interactive chat on n6mud.com, live streaming on YouTube.
Yeah, okay. I'll have to check that out real good. Well, anyway, we'll let you guys continue on here. I wanted to say hello, and yeah, we had an audio system taken down, and I put this thing back in, so it's just rudimentarily set up there. It's not really tweaked very, very well, so hopefully it sounds halfway decent.
I actually like it. It sounds more natural sounding. What do you guys think, Brandon or Jeff? It doesn't sound as compressed as you usually sound, Mark.
Agreed.
Hey, Mark,
okay,
it
real
sounds
good.
good over here in Poway, mate.
Yeah, I've been fighting some distortion in the equipment out here. It's tough enough just to run one station, but you know, when you run two, you got twice the headaches.
Don't I know it?
Yeah, hi Jeff. Yeah, you do know it, don't you?
All right, Dick. Catch you later, man. Thanks for stopping by N6MUD.
Yeah, 7-3, Steve. And yeah, as far as the dual stations, yes, and technically 3 if you include the remote hotel kit.
Oh yeah, that's you're a glutton for punishment there.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, the best thing I did was convert the shack over to fiber optic connection, because that got rid of a lot of problems.
And 1 second here. Hey, Dick, did you get done with that TT-BF modification, and you running 4 kilohertz wide now?
Oh, no, negative. I have not done that yet. I didn't turn off and turn back on, so I'm still just running 100 to 28 or whatever it is.
Okay, I wasn't sure. The band's kind of changing here, so I'm having a harder time copying it. Okay, I just wasn't sure if that's you're trying to get in there for our audio check. And yeah, Mark, did you hear what Jeff did? He had all types of issues with RF getting into his internet. Like he'd key down and his internet would go down. So he fixed it. He put fiber. He put a fiber, within his house. He put a fiber drop in there to get rid of the analog RF interference.
Oh yeah, I've had all kinds of problems with RF getting into some of the gateways and stuff. And I've had to take them out and put in other stuff to fix all that. But I didn't have, I didn't change any of the ISPs or anything. But a lot of that stuff gets picked up, on especially the cable stuff. It really, there's no common mode on that.
Yeah, that run I had going between the center of the house all the way into the radio room was convoluted and not good. So I've increased my transfer speed as well as my capacity, and definitely got rid of the RF, and in multiple ways, because now I don't shut down the Wi-Fi on the router too. So it's been very beneficial.
Oh yeah, I knock all my servers off the air every time I keyed up, and I go, that's not going to work.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of hard to run remote whenever you run more than 100 watts, and it knocks the radio offline, and then it stays keyed up, making all sorts of weird noises.
Yeah, I have a big box of RF-prone equipment.
I'm going to bail because you're probably losing me. The band seems to be changing. Thanks very much for the info, guys, and I'll listen for you again on another night. W9CTY is clear.
7-3, Dick.
Catch you later, Dick. Have a good evening.
Yeah, where was that station?
He's in Hollywood. He's running 100 watts out of a condo balcony. He's in a restricted area there, so not too shabby for what he's doing there, Mark, over.
Oh, okay, because I couldn't hear him direct. Yeah, boy, it's been a long day. I went across the rim at, about midnight. So we got here around, about 6 o'clock in the morning.
Is that, you've done that quite a few times, right? You prefer to drive during the night or early morning. Is that kind of how you roll when you drive out there?
Oh, yeah. That way I have the whole day ahead of me. I don't lose any work or any fun.
Yeah, but man, you're burning the candle at both ends there. You got to catch up somehow, right?
Oh, I take a nap. Yeah, I'm good. So yeah, I got here and we did unloaded a thing. I just went out over there for a few days. Our amateur radio club had a picnic, and I hadn't seen a lot of the people in years, and I wanted to go. So we just spent about 3 days there.
Holy cow, the band is shifting. I'm getting like almost a rural backscatter off of that signal. From Arizona, rather. Usually it's, 20, 30 over, but Craig is 3 times stronger than you are, and it's just phasing all over the place. That was the most psychedelic I've ever heard you, Mark.
Oh, cool. I'll have to try that again.
Interesting how it's not reciprocal, huh, Jeff?
No, I don't know if it'll come through here. Let me see if I can do this. See if it comes through when I try to replay.
Any work or any fun?
Oh yeah, it sounds like an echo.
Hey Craig, I uploaded 2 photos.
Yeah, well, I'm listening on the Big Bear receiver, so I'm not hearing it.
Yeah, Chris. Hey, thanks for uploading those photos, man. That's quite a vehicle there. That Plymouth Prowler, man. How much horsepower does that thing have? Remind me again. Is it 400 and something, right?
No, I wish. It only holds 12 gallons of fuel. No, it's about 255 horse, but the car's 1,400 pounds aluminum.
I thought it had more than that, but that's, a light car, so definitely power to weight ratio is pretty good on that car.
No, the car moves. It definitely does.
Yeah, you don't see too many of those driving around the streets, huh? I wonder how many of those are made, Chris. I mean, it's not one of those vehicles that there's many of them around these days, you know?
It depends on the year. They made 2,000 of them in 1989.
Yeah, I mean, just for looks, it's an awesome looking. It's like a hot rod looking, GM manufactured a hot rod looking car off the assembly line. And not many other manufacturers do that type of stuff.
Well, it come out of the plant that the Viper was built in. That car was hand-built by the same people that Vipers were made from. I inherited that car. I also inherited a Z06 Corvette that was sold, and I got rid of my Buick Grand National for the Prowler.
Yeah, did you say that you sold the Corvette?
Yeah.
Yeah, copy that.
Yeah, those Prowlers are just a unique looking cool car with like old school, old style flair. I love those things.
Plus they're aluminum, you know, they never rust.
Well, I hope that you never have to take it out during the wintertime because it won't stick to the road anyway.
Well, since we're talking about cars tonight, I had to throw that out there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you did.
But that's just a Sunday driver, right, Chris? You drive that once in a while, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I take it out on club events. I belong to a Prowler club here in the state. And I don't take it out a whole lot anymore. I should start taking it out. I should take it out next week. It's got, I think, 18,000 on it now.
Yeah, they're holding their value pretty good too, man. They're still selling used right around the same mileage for right around 30 grand.
Well, the car's an attention getter. It turns heads. It's a cool car, so I'm going to keep it. I inherited it, so it was one car my uncle had. He was never going to give up.
I don't blame him. If I had it, I wouldn't either.
Hey, gentlemen.
I don't know who you're talking to.
Hey, did that Dick from Hollywood? Did he remind you of anybody?
Yeah, he's a well-known radio personality.
I reckon he sounded like Richard Nixon.
No, he's actually he used to be LA AM radio or FM radio. I forgot the station. He knows like Damon and all those other guys at on the radio industry. Smitty knows him too.
Oh yeah, I looked at these QRZ pages.
Yeah, what's his name?
He sounded pretty good.
His name's Dick. I forgot his call sign now. Forgive me, Dick, if you're listening. Yeah, you may know him. You may know him as well, Mark. Dick. He had his own show in LA for many years. Are you at his QRZ page, Brandon?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, it's all on there. What the radio station he was at.
What's his call sign?
W9 Charlie Tango Yankee.
Yeah, KNX LA, the morning show. KNX, that's where he's from.
Oh yeah, I vaguely remember him. I don't think we ever met, but I remember listening to him on the air.
Yeah, they've for his retirement gift. I think it was CBS got him the FTDX10 for his retirement gift.
Surprised he lived in an HOA.
It's really difficult to find a place that isn't an HOA, when you get into a major metropolitan area.
Well, guys, I'm even having trouble buying land in New Zealand. There's a bunch of property in New Zealand, right? And it's right on the ocean and that, and they've got all these covenants to protect other people around you, even though I could be on a 20-acre lot or a 10-acre lot. There's covenants to protect other people that, no antennas and all that type of stuff. So that's if you buy a piece of land that's being done by a developer. Now, if you buy a piece of land that's being subdivided by a farmer, the farmer doesn't give a crap, and you can do whatever the hell you want. So anyway, if you're moving out east there, Jeff, to Ohio, and if you're looking for land, that's one way to do it, man, is to look for farms and that, if there's any out there. And if they want to subdivide it, then buy a farmer's piece of land, or a couple acres, and then you're not going to have any of these restrictions.
Yeah, well, I've already started looking at homes down in that area, and one of the search criteria that I've got is no HOAs. And it's funny, I was actually able to find a couple homes down there that had pre-existing towers.
Well, that's a win-win.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking, I was looking at less than 300,000 range. But anyway, there's not a lot to choose from out there in that price range that would have the amenities and in the condition that I would expect it to be in for that price range. That's the unfortunate part, is any of the newer construction out there is going to be in those HOAs, and I absolutely will never, ever, ever do that again.
Yeah, but like Mark was saying, all these new developments, man, they all have these rules and restrictions. It's crazy. Unless you want to buy land and build a custom home, there's very, very few, if any, that are being built these days that don't have that.
Yeah, well, I don't expect brand new, but, something maybe newer than 1970.
Probably they probably started doing this in the 80s or maybe early 90s. So if you can find something in the 80s or late 80s, maybe that'll work for you, huh?
Yeah, we'll see. I'm not buying anything unless it's exactly what I want.
Yeah, and probably it'd be smart to rent first, right? To get a feeling for the areas and that you like, and then give you some more time to find something you want to buy.
Yep, you got it. K5 BLS. Band must be going long because now I'm starting to boom into Utah.
No, you're 10 over here, Jeff, and Mark's still 10 over.
Well, I wasn't that strong into Utah all night until just now.
Hey, Mark, are you still transmitting on that loop out in the White Mountains there in Arizona? The loop, or did you make some other antenna? Because I know you've got a big loop out there that's not that high off the ground, maybe 30 feet. I'm just kind of curious, is that the antenna that you're using still?
Yeah, I'm still on it, 548 feet, I think.
But it's fairly low to the ground, right, still?
Yeah, it's about 25 feet up, I think.
Well, it works. I'm just kind of curious if I buy some land, that's what I'd probably do, something like that to begin with in the beginning, and then look for something else in the future beyond that. But yeah, putting up a big 500-foot loop would be nice, about 20, 30 feet off the ground.
Yeah, well, it's continuously tunable from Broadcast span all the way up to 30 megs. No SWR.
There is a used 2000 Prowler in Cleveland, of all places. It has 1,400 miles on it.
How much is it?
37.3.
37. That's not too bad for. Well, how much were those cars new?
I don't know, but I just can't believe that for that price you're getting something that's 1,473 miles on it. That's and in Cleveland, of all places.
Kind of a random, huh?
Yeah, well, given the amount of potholes and salt out there, I wouldn't drive it out there either.
Oh yeah, I mean, you buy a car out there in the Midwest where they salt the roads. You better wash that thing off real good if it's a classic.
Yeah, that's another reason why I want to go to southern Ohio, is to stay away from the Rust Belt.
Oh yeah. Hey Brandon, I see the tech stack there. Yeah, I figured it had. You say no JS framework? Interesting. Is there a framework called Node? I mean, I use Node.js for my stuff, but you're not using that, huh?
Yeah, hang on for a second. I've lost you locally. I'm on the wet feed on standby.
Oh, I got you, but yeah, you're weak. All right, I get it, man. I'll anyway, I'll type it in chat.
Well, guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and pull the plug here. I think I've had enough playing on the radio for one night, and time to go scrub the teeth and get into the horizontal position and think about sheep counting me, which probably won't take long. Anyway, good to hear from you all. Nice to be able to chat this evening, and interference-free, which was fantastic. So catch up again sometime later this week before I take off for Alaska. 73s all the way around and all the SWLs. K5 BLS, Carson City.
All right, Jeff. Yeah, me too. I'm kind of getting tired here, so I've been up early this morning. So have a good evening, and thanks for the chat and the fun this evening. And everyone out there on 40 meters and on the stream, thanks for all the chatting and interaction and the photos and everything else. I really appreciate it. Maybe we'll catch you maybe tomorrow night. From N6MUD San Diego. Have a good evening to Chris and you too, Mark, and Brandon and whoever else is out there on the HF side.
Okay there, Craig. Yeah, thanks for being there. And Jeff, you have a good one. And 7-3 all the way around. WA7CCA, northeastern Arizona, near the New Mexico state line.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Thanks, Craig. This is K6X7Z in Hanoi. Cheers.
All right, catch you later, Brandon. I got 100% copy there. 7-3s.
73,
All right, guys. Hey, thanks for all of the fun this evening. Catch you tomorrow night. Hopefully the stream will be up. Yeah, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel so you'll be notified when we go live again on YouTube. Have a good evening. See you guys later. N6MUD.